Greetings, YouTube. I am not making the same mistake I made last time. Sometimes because I want you to know, no one is harder on me than me, and I never feel more like an embarrassed public idiot than when I make a huge mistake in a YouTube video. And last time I looked at these crystals and immediately thought, hey, it's a 6-star dual class, not Mystic, but Nexus. It looks like a Nexus crystal. It's not a Nexus crystal. In fact, I would argue that this crystal, because it's not a Nexus, is potentially a bad value. Now, don't get me wrong. Kabam used to charge a lot more for this than 3,000 units, so at least it's come down in price. And also, I know some of you have told me, like Mr. Danger Darren out there, that you have never been more depleted for ISO and gold. And these deals are decent for that. There's the retail price of $100 for 1 million gold. There's the tier 6 ISO times 10, which is very helpful. And that is of both classes. And so, really, what kind of saves this offer, because I've bought 2 of them in my channel's life, and both times I've regretted it. Both times I've lit 3,000 units on fire. And you might say, Prof, you've got 60,000 units. You can light 3,000 units on fire. Yeah, but think about how many revives that could be for clearing content, right? I mean, that's a lot of single level 2 revives for the price of... I want Omega Red so bad that I've gone for the duel on the mutant and skill. And I don't think I've gotten a mutant either time. I've landed on just skill, and it's like Black Panther Civil War and I think Night Thrasher. And I'm not saying that's like the worst of the worst, but because I don't need ISO and I don't need gold, I end up just thinking, well, hopefully the community takes pity on me and watches this video a bunch, so at least I can recoup some of the losses of the purchase. Now, 99.9% of people who open these, you can't recoup anything. So I am extremely blessed to have the ability to pour so much of the money earned on my channel right back into the game. My dream was always just to make enough revenue from my channel to essentially break even on my MCOC purchases. And you might consider that a classic addiction, and it is the Marvel Casino of Champions after all. But I'm fortunate enough to say, because I have another quote-unquote real job, that I can do that with this. I'm at the point where I just wish this was a Nexus. I just wish this was a Nexus, because then I'd be really excited and I'd probably buy it every time. Because it could be the case where you buy it and it's a Nexus and you have a Black Panther Civil War and maybe an OG Black Panther and an Omega Red in the 3rd quadrant. But now it's not a Nexus. It's just a regular 6-star version of a dual class crystal. It is no different from purchasing the 5-star Science Mystic, only it's a 6-star instead of a 5-star. Now, they usually put the cutoff for these at Cavalier, and they've once again done just that. And we've seen people do amazingly well on these, right? We've seen people get a Doctor Doom. We've seen people get a Corvus, Captain Sparkles, and Nick Fury, etc. And Nick Fury would be a potential option in my mutant skill crystal that I, in theory, would want to purchase. I'm not trying to overuse this phrase, but I just kind of have some PTSD from these, because when you light $100 worth of units on fire and you have nothing to show for it, it just sucks, you know? It just really sucks. So I still might do it, because the temptation of getting that Nick Fury, who I've been saving my generic 6-star Awakening Gem for, or my Omega Red, who I've been saving my 6-star Mutant Awakening Gem for, during a level up event of all things, is tempting. But the odds of me pulling those champions is like 1 to 2%. I have a 98% chance. I mean, I could pull an Aegon and just get ISO out of it, right? Because he's max sig. I don't know. I'm on the fence. Before, I was like, oh man, I gotta do this. And then after getting burned a couple times, I just got burn fatigue. I'm just a little emotionally scarred by all of this. So, if you think about a grade for these, it's going to depend on how much you need gold and ISO. If you think you can land on a dud champion, which most likely you probably will, but the ISO and the gold is going to be, no matter what, a game changer for ranking up a champion you do have, then I think this is probably like a C plus B minus grade for you. But if you're like me and you don't need ISO or gold, and the whole value of this depends on the champion you get for 3,000 units. If you've got the units, I still think it's like a C minus, maybe a C grade. If you have to spend cash for the units, I think it's probably like a D grade, just because it's too big of a gamble. These dual class crystals, I mean, just think about the 5-star ones, right? There are so many trash champs. And the thing about the 6-star basic, even though, yes, there are a lot of trash champs, there are also a lot of champs from each class that you could get that you'd be excited about. And when you choose a dual class, 4 out of 6 of the God tier or beyond God tier champs of those classes are gone because it's just 2 classes. So, how many times are you going to open a Cosmic Duel trying to get Ghost and instead you get Groot? How many times are you going to open a Science Mystic and you want that Doctor Doom and instead you get Captain America World War II? It's just, after I've heard and seen so many of those horror stories from this, I just have to talk about them. And yes, it's exciting to see this offer pop up because it only it only pops up about 6 times a year, so about once every 2 months. But at the same time, to me, it's just a really big gamble. And look, I'm staring at the mutant, and I'm thinking about that Nick Fury, and I'm thinking about that Omega Red, and how amazing it would be for my channel if they were in there. But I also know I'm probably going to get another Night Thrasher. I probably know that I'm going to get another Gambit. And I'm not saying those champions are bad, they're not, but they're not worth 3,000 units to me. They're just not. I'd rather save them. So, I don't know. Should I do it? Let's let the public decide. Comment below, let me know. And what grade would you give this offer? Let me know in the comments. Good luck to everybody who buys this Marvel Casino of Champions tremendous gamble.